Hello everyone, welcome to this video from Dream Big. Today we'll be speaking about studying tips for two standardized tests, the SAT and the ACT. My name is Chaitya Jadawat and I am a volunteer for Dream Big. We're a nonprofit organization aiming to assist students with high school and college admissions. To learn more about us, what we do, and how we can help you, please email us or visit our website. Okay, let's get started. So to provide a roadmap of this video, we will first talk general tips that you can use to study for both the SAT and the ACT. These tips will apply to both tests. Then we will look at tips specific to the ACT and to the SAT. And finally, we'll talk about last minute testing tips that you can use to attempt your test and the night before your test. So yeah, let's begin. So first, let's look at general studying tips. So in general, these tips will help you on both the SAT and the ACT by preparing you to take standardized tests. The main thing most students must understand is that the SAT and ACT are both timed. Therefore, they're testing your ability to tackle a standardized test effectively, and not necessarily whether or not you know the topics of the test. This is often difficult for students because most tests in school don't have a heavy time constraint, so it's important to practice that skill. Before you begin prep, you should take a time benchmark test to assess where you are in terms of both your score and your time management skills. Based on the score, plan out ahead of time your schedule by distributing work on a weekly basis. For both the SAT and the ACT, one way you could do this is by setting a weekly goal for the number of sections you would like to work on. After each test, you should score your questions to see how far you reached since your benchmark score. If you got a lot of questions on the same type, like same general subset wrong, review them and see how your thought process was incorrect, and then work on that, improve that for next time. With all of these tips, it'll be very helpful to buy a prep book. Prep books have lots of tips specific to each section of the SAT and the ACT, and they also have drills that allow you to work on a particular type of questions at a time. They also have several practice tests that you can use to obtain a benchmark score for yourself. So yes, please invest in a prep book. Okay. Next, let's talk about topics specific to the SAT. So for tips specifically to the SAT, you first need to take a benchmark test to figure out where you are and what your weakest section is. Once you do that, decide if you'll devote more time to improving English or to improving math. If you want to focus more on English, here's a few tips. First, you should glance over all the passage questions before reading the passage. This gives you an idea of what you're looking for within the passage, which helps you understand the important aspects much quicker. Another trick that might help is to answer all vocabulary and grammar usage questions first, because these questions aren't usually that difficult and can be answered using context clues. So you can earn those points even before you understand the passage. Another very common type of question is the claim evidence-based question, where the first question will ask you to identify the correct claim, and then the second will ask you for evidence to support that claim. In these questions, it might help to find the correct evidence first based on the passage, and then pair that evidence to the claim. A final tip for the reading section is to always read the passage blurb first. This provides a good overview of what the passage is about, and that can help you make more accurate inferences. For the math section, the most important tip is to know all of the topics first. The SAT covers topics that go up to trigonometry in terms of difficulty, so please make sure you're well versed with them before you begin prep. Also for the calculator section, a lot of students have difficulty answering the questions quickly with a calculator, so make sure you practice that throughout your practice test so that you're ready to go. Okay, next let's talk about tips specific to the ACT. So with the ACT, most of the question styles are nearly the same as with the SAT. The most notable difference is the added science section, which can be difficult for students because they don't generally work on science passages in school. To work on this, practice reading visuals such as graphs, charts, and tables before your test. This will help you understand visuals quickly and easily on your actual exam. Also, mark up your science passages carefully because the technical vocabulary can be hard to understand. Finally, as you read, actively make connections between the passage and the associated visual, since this question can ask you to determine if the visual agrees with or disproves the claim in the passage. In terms of the ACT math and English, they're mostly the same as the SAT. The major difference is that they have a greater number of questions and a shorter amount of time, so it's very important that you jump around and find the easy questions first. Also, if a math question takes too long to answer, you should skip it to find the easier ones, and then come back to the longer questions. Lastly, for the optional essay, it's a good idea to write a 3 to 4 page long essay because this allows you to develop your claim effectively and with ample evidence. Also, you should aim for 5 full paragraphs, which are an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Okay. Finally, let's look at some last-minute tips and testing strategies for both of the tests. So, the most important thing to remember is that you have to carry the necessary supplies, or else your experience will be much more difficult. Most importantly, carry several pencils and an eraser, along with an approved scientific calculator. You can check on the SAT and ACT website for a list of approved calculators. Please carry your ID and a confirmation pass as well, since proctors can't let you into the room if you don't have these. You should also carry a watch to time yourself and know when to speed up or slow down. Please make sure that this is not a smartwatch, because those are not allowed in the testing room. Finally, carry a water bottle and a snack, which you can eat during your breaks. While taking the test, you should emphasize quantity over quality. Instead of spending several minutes to ensure that each question is absolutely correct, use your allotted time to attempt each question first. Then, if you have extra time, go back and check the questions you were unsure on. This allows you to get a guaranteed number of points for the easier questions. Finally, always remember to clear your mind after every section. Both the SAT and ACT don't allow you to go to the previous section after time is called, so don't spend time dwelling on that previous section and whether or not you did good. This will just get you distracted from the next section. Thanks for watching. Dream Big has also conducted a live session on SAT tips and tricks. If you would like to check that out, you can find the link in the description below. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments or email us at our email, which is also in the description. You can also visit our website and join the group chat using the links provided. Thank you. Have a good day.